What's up, everyone? And we are back for another live edition of Spin from the Reel. Once again, I am Matt, and joining me as always is the personality himself, Chris Lopez.
Are we on?
Yeah, we're on.
Oh, through me. On my screen it doesn't say that we're on. But what's going on? I'm good, man. Everything's rocking. Everything's rolling. I'm trying my best. From this point forward, I think I can officially say that I will be sitting down for Spin from the Reel. Getting everything set up over here on my end. It's some real stuff, man. Everything is coming up, Chris. I should say everything's coming up, Chris.
Okay. Yeah, but how are you personally, man? How are you just you doing?
How am I?
Yeah.
That's not a conversation that I want to have right now.
Oh.
But I am. I'm excited. There's a lot of good stuff going on right now. The last week has been, the last couple of days have been like I'm busy, staying busy, doing my thing. But I'm going through like a roller coaster of emotions, especially the last few days, with what's been going on, not only in this MTS space that we're living in, but we're also, we're trying, we're all just trying to do our thing, I'm out here rocking. I'm over here doing my stuff.
It's a very weird feeling, that's for sure, man. That is definitely for sure. And I'm wondering if StreamYard's acting up because we're not even getting a viewer count, even though I can say when I noticed that, I decided to go check on my phone. So yeah, this is a weird stream. This is probably the most glitchy stream without the other known glitches we normally have. So
before we continue with the show, if something just happens and we just stop, just know that it was StreamYard and not us.
Yes, for once. Honestly, if you want to pop on out and pop back in, and I'll do the same after the fact. After you come back in, we can do that. I don't care.
Well, Matt, go ahead and tell people
a little bit about what we're doing this week.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
All right. Well, this week we got a lot going on. First off, we have Wrestle Reel. We got that coming up on Friday, per normal. And then we also have, of course, tomorrow, Really Scared with arguably their biggest episode yet. And I'm not saying that just to say that. It is really their biggest episode yet, as they have on the directors and some of the cast members from the horror film Hosts. Yeah, it's really going to be a big one. I'm really excited for it. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great. All around good time, man. All around good time on there. Make sure you're seeing what those Really Scared boys, those ghouls and goblins are doing this upcoming week. So, yeah. I don't know why that popped back up. But, yeah. So.
Woo! Okay. Now, it took me a second.
As soon as you popped out, the viewer count popped in. So, I'm like, all right, I'll go.
Okay, so it was me. I get it. Like, I'm the solid here. But yeah, man, we're talking Schmoedown. We got a lot to cover on the show today.
Yeah, a lot to cover, man. Just there's a lot going on, and let's start off with our review of last week's matches. Not the pay-per-view. Yeah. We're going to do that at the end of the show. If you want to know more about the pay-per-view, gotta wait for the end. We're trying to keep a personal gag order on that until the end because we know a lot of people won't get the chance to watch it till this weekend, and that way they can avoid the spoilies, and we'll throw up a little spoiler warning whenever we get to talking about it. So
hell yeah. But first off, last week on the show we had the Ultimate Schmoedown guys. One more time, quick shout out to them, Boggs and Collins, for coming on the show. Excuse me. But there was a match that was on the Patreon first and didn't go live to the public until Thursday, which, I mean, typically if we have a Schmoedown show on a Wednesday, we're going to miss a match of the week. But that's why we recap it now. And that match was Ethan Irwin versus Jeff Snyder. Yeah. And I actually got to watch this match legitimately. I got to watch. I knew the outcome. And plus, going back and listening to the show again with last week, our boy Colin he kind of leaned towards who the victor was.
Yep.
So I already knew. So I'm not blaming him. I found out, obviously, when I watched LSN and Collins the next day. or on Friday, but I watched this match and holy crap, what a match. What an upset. I think I can say that in confidence.
Yes.
Like, oh my God. Okay, I don't want to throw any shade towards Jeff Snyder.
I'm gonna pop out real quick.
Please go, by all means. I don't want to throw any shade towards Jeff Snyder because he is obviously an incredible competitor in the movie trivia Schmoedown. He's a killer in teams, and he's been waiting for that time to shine in singles. He's gotten close, but no cigar. We saw him, whether it's facing Oyama for the belt or getting close facing other competitors. But now he faces Irwin. He faces Irwin in the semifinals on the right side of the bracket. And this was a matchup that people thought we were going to get Ethan just stomping and moving on as he has been doing the entire tournament. And so I thought Ethan was going to win too. And shit, I think another thing I can say in confidence, Ethan was the favorite to finish the tournament. After I want to say his first match or two, everyone was like, "Oh my God, is Ethan about to just clean house?" Like, and that's what it was looking like until he ran into the wall that was Jeff Snyder, apparently. And I just want to drop a couple notes that I have from the match because
of course, go ahead.
Absolutely killer. So first off, Snyder had the momentum after round one because he got a perfect round and got the extra point. Okay, great. So we saw Ethan back-to-back matches miss a question first round, and my boy's a little shook. You can see him get visibly shaken when he's not the monster that the Schmoedown hypes him up to be, you know. So you see Snyder with a 2-point lead, 9-7, going into round two, and then round two, Ethan Irwin goes first, gets fantasy sci-fi, does a decent job at it, goes back to Snyder. Snyder gets 80s, does all right at it, but Ethan gets some steals. So momentum's back on Ethan's side. He's up 2 points going into round three. And now this is when things get interesting. This is the biggest turn in the whole match. To me, I don't know what things could be considered moments of the year if we're still doing that for the Schmoedown.
Yeah, that
Roxy Stryer had one hell of a if Rocky could be a speech, the movie Rocky could be a speech. Roxy Stryer freaking gave it to Snyder before round three.
Yeah,
and they gave that. If I could pump that in my bloodstream, I would. Like, it was insane. Like, Roxy, and I know we talked about it in the show a lot, that Roxy Stryer has had a down year. It's no secret. If your name is not Jeff Snyder, Mark Andreyko, or really Alex Damon, because we've barely seen Alex Damon compete this year, she's been having an off year. Okay. But this speech is why people should still consider her a great manager. Because that led Snyder to winning the match. Granted, both of the three-pointers were questionable as hell in regards to the validity of them being three-pointers, and Ethan's 5 was holy hell. Yeah. Like, I was over here like rattling my brain. I'm like, what? Like, what movie? Like, I couldn't get Lucifer out of my head, the Netflix television show, because I'm like, what the hell? Like, what is happening? But Ethan had 2 hard-ass questions for his 3 and his 5, and I thought Jeff's 3 was insanely hard. And I'm like, okay, like, we need to, like, they brought it with the question.
Well, it is a semifinals match, so you can understand why it was a little bit hard.
And the writers definitely brought it. I wasn't over here like, oh, those questions were like, ugh. I'm just saying, those questions were hard, and Snyder earned his victory. He freaking earned it. Oh my God, what a match! Roxy possibly having moment of the year with that speech to Snyder. If they still do moment of the year, it should go to Roxy as of right now. But Lord, Snyder beat Ethan. He's in the finals now. Holy shit!
See, and we're going to touch upon. Why do I hear an echo?
Is it me? I am in an empty room.
I mean, you have headphones on, so I shouldn't hear an echo of my voice. Anyways, Snyder, we'll touch on this after we cover the next match. Yeah. Snyder, man, he had to beat 3 former champions to get to where he is, man. It's not an easy feat. So you got to show him his respect. It's just like, all right, man showed up. The man showed up this tournament. I know personally I had been down on Roxy as a manager as of recently because of how the years played out for her, and you hadn't really seen any fire like that out of her like you had been seeing, and I'm glad we got that because I went from being like I am with Baker Mayfield, like where's Baker Mayfield? I'm like maybe he's not the QB we thought he was. Before this match, I was starting to think maybe Roxy's not the manager we thought she was.
And then
But
bam.
yeah, I'm like, okay. She just had a bad draft. That's all it is. Just a bad draft.
Yeah, and a hard year. And she's even mentioned it on social media where it's like, yo, the FinStock Exchange has played like 50 matches this year, and we played what feels like 5. So WTF.
You gotta win.
And that's what Christian says, like, yo, like you gotta win your matches. And
Like,
I mean, at the
you know,
same
even
time,
in wrestling, in wrestling, it's the same thing.
Facing each other all the time.
Yeah.
So like that's another thing, but that's a conversation we can have later.
But at the same time, with wrestling, it's the same way. If you're not winning, it's over.
Like if you're not going over, then you're not gonna go for the belt. You know, like if John Moxley wasn't champ and he was out here losing every week on Dynamite, he's not gonna get a title shot. That doesn't make any sense. And why would you have the guy that keeps losing on Dynamite every week? The same thing. Exactly. I totally get it. But boy, Jeff Snyder. If I promise you, if Adam Collins and Liz Shannon Miller weren't having the Cinderella runs that they've been having this year on the left side of the bracket, Jeff Snyder would take the cake in regards to the story of the tournament. Yeah. Like Snyder's like crawl from the bottom in singles. Like he's out here facing off.
Bottom.
Well, I shouldn't say the bottom, but he's facing off against some, like he said, he's facing off his former champs, Oyama, Riley, Ethan. That ain't easy.
And who who was his first match?
Montano was his first match.
Oh yeah, Montano. So he had a nice little tune-up, and then got to work.
Exactly, and us over here, we're like, yeah, he's gonna lose to Oyama.
Nope.
Yeah, he's gonna lose to Riley. Nope. Yeah, he's gonna lose to Ethan.
Shockingly,
like, I wish I'm in my living room now, so I left all my crow in my bedroom, so I can't eat it. But like I'm over here, I'm like, oh my god.
Don't worry, we got something else for you to eat next week.
Oh, okay. No, I'm not doing that. I know exactly what you're talking about. No, but what Snyder has done, like this match has proved like he ain't no slouch. And yeah, the questions were not on Ethan's side. Ethan, points wise, he could have beaten Snyder easily, especially with missing those possible 8 points in the last 2 questions. I totally get it, but that's the game, you know. Like the questions, they were some toughies. Toughies, and even I even thought that Jeff's 3-pointer about Little Shop of Horrors was a toughie. So
you thought John Candy was a toughie?
I am not familiar with John Candy's work in film. Like that's
that from the trailer so very.
That's why you froze. John, I mean, I haven't seen the OG Little Shop of Horrors in a very long.
That's not an OG, actually. That is a remake.
Well, to me, it's an OG. It came out 85, so like it's cool.
Something like that.
So,
hey, you have HBO Max, but now it's there.
Is that HBO Max?
Yeah,
I'm about to watch John Candy do some DJ stuff on HBO Max. But no, like what Snyder did in this match it wasn't the best played game. We've definitely seen better played games in this tournament, but the fact that it came over Ethan Irwin and that speech by Roxy, she was damn near crying in the post interview. I'm like, this is what the Schmoedown is, bro. Seeing how Jeff reacted, like this is what it is. This is where the party's at right here. And I cannot fathom how my jaw dropped when I heard Ethan have to get repeats on his 5-pointer, because I'm like, yo, Ethan's the type of guy that if he just knows it, he knows it. He's not going to burn it. He's not going to burn repeats. And
he has a couple times, and it's helped him pull it from the recesses of his mind. So,
but like, when Christian was like, and your winner, Jeff Snyder, I'm like, yo, I'm like, that's nuts. And I knew like I was gonna come on this show and be like, Jeff, like good shit, man. Like you did a kick-ass job. And now He's in the finals facing off against either one of the two Cinderella stories from the left side of the bracket, and two of the brighter spots, really, at least to me, in the whole season so far, in the winner of Liz Shannon Miller and Adam Collins.
Which is the perfect segue to say Adam Collins keeps getting lucky breaks. And I even talked about this with Boggs after the match.
Put some respect on my man's name. And that's great. Like I'm so glad like Boggs agrees with you. Like that's awesome. But look, Adam Collins, this crazy ass stat. I don't know if you watched the rundown from this past Saturday.
No, I didn't get a chance to.
But let me tell you this crazy ass stat that Frankie Numbers he went ahead and threw at my face, and I'm like, yo, that is insane. Because we've seen runs like this before, right? Something about this Adam Collins run, like it feels similar. Like freaking Irwin did it, freaking Oyama did it, Kevin Smets did it in Inner Geekdom. Like we're no stranger to this. Like a run like this ain't foreign to us. But in 5 matches, Gallegos, right? Gallegos, Roca, Harris, Meyer.
What's up, Fairlane?
What's going on, homie? Meyer and Liz Shannon Miller. How many questions has he missed?
Like 5?
He's missed 4 questions in 5 matches. That is insane. That's one hell of a stat. He's making the most of every single one of his matches. Granted, he make it lucky breaks on the questions that he gets in the 3rd round. He make it lucky breaks on those 2nd round questions. Man, he's missed 4 questions. That's unprecedented. You cannot at least give my man some respect. At least, like, holy God, I cannot fathom how impressive that is to me. And this is Adam Collins' first run in the Schmoedown, and we've talked about this in the show before. He's a fan that reached out, got drafted. Oh, he got pulled. Really, he got pulled mid-season.
He's a fan leaguer. She's a fan leaguer, so he is not.
And bam, and now here he is, running through some of the best the Schmoedown has seen, and not only this season, but in its history. So I can't just like disregard his wins, but at the same time, it was one hell of a match. And honestly, now knowing the victor of the right side of the bracket, the winner of the left side is who I got going forward. It could have been Liz Shannon Miller, it could have been Adam Collins, and it was Adam Collins in the end. But holy God, Adam Collins is a stud, and we will continue to know his name going forward in the movie trivia Schmoedown. I'm telling you that right now.
Interesting. Yeah.
He's doing a podcast.
That's real meta. But with what Adam Collins has done in this match, I'm not going to throw any shade towards Liz Shannon Miller. Liz Shannon Miller had a great game.
No, she had a great game.
Great run. Like, yeah, I'm talking all this stuff about Adam Collins because, I mean, like, this K is in my name for a reason. Like, I was a fan of this man. So I saw what he did against Roca. I'm like, yo, this guy's the real deal. He's the shit. And now, as a person who had to be convinced about this Liz Shannon Miller hype, she brought the heat. She did not make it easy for him. At no point did she make it easy. It's just by the nature of how the match went. Adam Collins just added another tick to that already great resume that he's having. And now he's going to the finals to face Snyder. And Snyder, he even admitted in his post-game interview, he did not want to face Collins because Collins was too much of a question mark. And he still is. 5 matches in.
Yeah, well, I will say this. I was definitely shocked by the Liz Shannon Miller missing her final question. What animal did Thor say Loki turned into to trick him as a child? I'm like, a snake.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, it's a snake. And then I'm not gonna lie, her sitting there questioning it. I'm like, was it a snake? No, it was a snake. Yeah,
it had me questioning it too. Where I'm like, yo, like, because multiple animals are said in Ragnarok. Like, I know, like, I
Well,
think
just
frogs are
just
mentioned.
throughout the series, he mentions like all the things like Loki's turned him into something, or Loki's
Yeah.
turned into something himself.
And that's
it's
how
just
I
like,
initially heard the question. I thought it was what Loki turned Thor into. I'm like, like frog, like because they did the frog Thor thing, and it's like, wait, what was the question again? And I'm like, oh, but still, like to us, yeah, because we're some dweebs, but that's a blind spot for her apparently.
See, I was shocked because she's gotten Tank Girl and all these geeky questions. I thought that would MCU would have been, or whatever the category was. I know it was Inner Geekdom or MCU, one of the two.
I think it was comic book movies.
Or comic book movies, yeah.
I think comic book movies.
But I'm like, okay, that's got to be a strong suit, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, I guess I was wrong, because when she said rabbit, I was like, no.
Because if I'm not mistaken, from what I remember, because I watched this match on Friday before I went to go do some high school football in Kansas. I was in Kansas. I'm away to Kansas watching this match, and I'm like, yo, like that would have won her the match.
Yeah.
That snake pole would have won it for her. And as she's repeating it, I'm like,
well, no, I thought he came in with the lead that round, so I thought he would have had to answer his 5.
Oh yeah, show you right. But I'm like, yo, like this is interesting. Like my eyes are on this, and I'm trying to listen to the question. I'm like, yo, like I was questioning it like you were, because yeah, we're some Marvel stands over here, so of course like that's our bread and butter. But to her, I guess not. And again, like not all these people are going to be perfect at everything. Like the Little Shop of Horrors question to you, it's like, oh yeah, John Candy. It's like that's not the case. I guarantee someone was screaming at their TV. It's like it was horns, Ethan. Like I guarantee.
I wouldn't have got that one. I'm not gonna lie.
I heard the question. I'm like, WTF is that, bro? Like,
yeah.
What are you talking about? And I'm like, yo, this is.
I guarantee you, Taylor was probably the one screaming, "It was horns! It was horns!"
I was stunned, but at the same time, what Winston said in the post game interview was also extremely emotional, and maybe that I don't want to blame Winston for this, but he was late to the match, which I thought they were playing as like a story.
Same.
I thought they were going to be like, oh, Winston's coming in like a ball of fire. Yeah, Shannon. And then he was like, sorry, I'm late, y'all. This is some real stuff as the planes fly over my apartment. I'm like, what? Like, this was like legit? Was he late to the taping?
Yeah, he was
like,
late.
I'm like, yo, like, this is some real life stuff right here. And maybe that played a part. Who knows? But what he said about Liz Shannon Miller is something that should not be forgotten about. Like, she will be a tour de force going into next season. Because although her season is over, now Winston has to, like, what are you going to do in regards to your 3 that you keep towards the end of the year? Because now Liz Shannon Miller, with the great run that she just had in the singles tournament, that throws a monkey wrench into all the fans prior to that.
Yeah, because originally it was like, oh, it's just Ace and
Final exam.
Yeah, final exam. Simple as that. And now you got Liz Shannon Miller.
I saw some theory. I want to say it was on a Reddit or Facebook. Somebody had said it. And it was drop Lon, team her with Oyama, and keep Ace. And I say, bro, that's nuts.
Here's my thing. I would drop Ace.
Even if he's Star Wars champ?
If he's champ, no, I don't think he's going to be champ. That's why I say this.
Oh.
Because with Damon being out of the Inner Geekdom tournament, Damon just had all this time.
You're right. And he has a killer mustache, so he knows he's sinister as fuck right now.
Yeah, so I would drop Ace because as great as he is, you don't get a lot of Star Wars matches in the year.
Sure, you're right.
So
I mean, Alex Damon, Exhibit A.
Yeah, but Alex made the decision to go into Inner Geekdom. That's what made him more valuable. We knew that going into the draft.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Oh, I'm going to go into Inner Geekdom also and do more than
he
just."
He had a decent run. He just ran into Mike.
Yeah, so
it's not easy.
It's not. So I'm just like, all right, that's who's more like. Damon has added value. Ace, I don't know how good he's going to be in Inner Geekdom. I remember Winston even said we threw him in that Inner Geekdom match because we knew he was good at Star Wars and decent enough in in all the other areas that we thought he'd be a good Inner Geekdom player. He shat the bed that match. Nothing else you can say, but he shat the bed. So, and I don't think Ace is a singles player. I don't think he's a teams player. I think he should stay strictly Star Wars. So for that reason alone, his value is down to me. Just like you picked up a Demolanta, and what was it, the fourth round? He was after Damon. He was the first Star Wars player off the board, and Damon was gone in like round 3.
And like you said, like Damon's like, yeah, I want to do Intergeekdom. Then of course that's going to up his stock. But with Demolanta, if he's the exchange, he had to be picked at 5th round at the earliest.
Yep, 5th round. Yeah, try 5th round. So yeah,
because the Horseman took up the first. Yeah, 4th round Roka. No offense, John. But it was like Demolanta being the kick-ass Star Wars player that he is, getting picked in the 5th round of a draft like that. So, and that's where my brain gets all boggled, especially in regards to Star Wars. Because yes, I'm no stranger. I've said in the show before, I'm not the biggest fan of the Star Wars division, not because it doesn't pump out great matches, because this tournament that we just had this past summer is Exhibit A. It's a great matches for Schmoedown. But just in the quality and where you rank these players, that's my thing. Because I mean, I want to know the exact number of matches Alex Damon has had over his career, and I'm curious to see where that number is at. Is it double digits if we exclude his run in Intergeekdom? That's why I'm like, like I don't know. But where you rank these Star Wars competitors is weird. It's off. And if Ace does beat Damon in December, do you want a champion in your faction? Because yeah, not only is it it's Star Wars, but it's a champion. You know, you have a champ in your faction, and that's some clout. Like it doesn't matter what championship it is. It could be like for me, I could have the metaphorical championship, and it's a championship nonetheless. So of course my stock's gonna be somewhat high, and if a faction were to pick me up because I'm ex-champion, then okay, cool. Or because I'm a champ, then okay, all right, that's how it's gonna pan out. And that's how I expect Ace to be picked up. Ace will be someone's top 3, whether he wins the belts or not. Whether it's with Winston, that's the big question. Because do you drop the delinquent in favor of Ace? Because let's be real, Paul's is one loss.
Alex
it'd be dumb to drop Liz.
I have your stat for you. Alex has played a lifetime of 10 matches. He's won 8 of them.
And this includes Intergeekdom or just Star Wars?
Yep. That's both.
Okay, it's both.
So it's 6 Star Wars and 4. Yep, Leo Logan right there with the stat.
My man, Leo Logan, what's going on, homie?
6 Star Wars and 4 IG matches. He's 3-1 in IG, and then he is 5-1 in Star Wars.
So doesn't it feel like Alex Damon's been in the Schmoedown for a long time now?
He has.
I mean, he's been and he's only played 6 Star Wars matches prior to the Intergeekdom matches this year. Like that's my thing. Like the Star Wars players don't play too much. They don't play, and it's okay. Like I'm not trying to rag on the division. But that's where the stock of the competitor lies. How many times is Ace going to play next year? Max 5?
Let's be honest. Max 2 to 3.
In Star Wars.
Max.
Let me preface in Star Wars.
Max 2 to 3.
And it's like, how many points is that?
Unless he decides to add another Star Wars tournament. Again, unless he decides to do a Star Wars tournament again next year, you're looking at max 2 to 3 matches. And
that's if the champ, because if he's still champ at that point, he's not going to play. Obviously, because it's a tournament for number 1 contender. So it's a hard thing to weigh. But I do not envy Winston because now Liz Shannon Miller, you have to keep her. You have to. You have no choice but to. If you drop LSM, it's a huge mistake.
You've got to remember that it's ultimately up to the players. It's free agency. So
you're right. So I don't see the odds being too high of Liz being like, yeah, screw you, Winston. I'm gonna go join corruption. It's like what?
She's gonna need a manager who's if there's one faction I can see her going to that isn't Winston's, it'd be the Quirky Mercs.
Yeah, and Coy. We love Coy. We love Coy over here. What a great manager. Oh my god. And we'll get to more of Coy's stuff in a little bit. But Yeah, that's honestly a perfect fit. Low key, I think LSM with Coy is more perfect than her with Winston.
No, I think Winston's more perfect because he's a better mouthpiece than Coy.
But what Coy has been excelling at this year isn't him being a mouthpiece. Like Brendan Meyer ain't a mouthpiece, and look what he just did with Meyer. Like Bibiani is obviously he does promos, and his promos are great, by the way, too. But he's not a mouthpiece. He's not like a Roca or a Bateman or a Guy.
Well, no,
like Coy's been excelling with the two of them.
My point is, she's like she doesn't want to do the smack talk. She needs someone who'll do it for her, and that's why I think Winston's the best. She's got too nice of a heart to be on a faction like Corruption, which would be the next best bet for that.
Oh boy, I don't even want to think of what Shannon would do with Liz Miller. I don't, because it's going to be insane. But speaking of Shannon, before we continue off of this LSM Adam Collins match, Adam Collins, I honestly think what he's been doing in this tournament, I credit 10,000% of it, at least in regards to the Jets. I live next to an Air Force base. This is the worst. But I don't want to give all the credit, but like a decent amount of the credit should go to Shannon, because like it's a heel manager is perfect for what Adam Collins is doing. Have you seen his promos on Twitter where he's out here like
sitting in a shed
correcting people? What the hell is that? But it works. It works on all these different levels. His one with Roca got me on 10. His one with Liz Shannon Miller, he wasn't even ragging on her. He was like, we're cut from the same cloth. But correction, I'm like, damn! Like this man, because let's be real, they're really similar in regards to their play in the Schmoedown. Granted, LSM had another season on him, but going into this tournament, they're parallel. They're parallels to me. And because they had everything to prove. They've had so much to prove in this one tournament, and I think they both excelled. Granted, LSM was on the losing end, but she's going to have a killer next season. Shit, I think we can even say this right now because Christian said it on the rundown. She's going to face Ethan Irwin to kick off next season. That match is going to rule. And then they face the winner. Whoever wins that faces the loser of the singles tournament for number one contender shot at the title next year. Yes, please. Give me some more. Ethan Liz Shannon Miller is going to be a killer match.
Well, he's the one who brought her into it also, so that's what makes that match even more entertaining. So
it's going to rule. There's so much cool stuff going on. And Leo Logan, I see your comment in the chat.
Yeah, we're going to get to that in a minute. We'll bring it up when we get to that. Yeah, but because we just finished talking about who won the semifinals, we got to talk about who's going to win the finals. And for that, I got Jeff Snyder.
Whoa!
You beat
coming from you? That's a shock.
You beat 3 straight champions.
Woo!
Yeah, that's how you'll be feeling when he eats this live on camera next week. Live on camera next week. You got Chris taking this on.
I ain't doing anything. The only hot thing I mean are some Andy Caps. That's all I got going on.
No, look, you can handle this.
That's great. So can you? You do it. I'll do it.
I'm doing it too. We're all doing it.
But okay. So you have. Why do you have Snyder? Why do you have Snyder? Go ahead.
Because he literally beat 3 champions in a row.
Is that the only reason though?
No, he's been this tournament. He's been killing it. Like he's really been on top of his game. And he's played in a championship level before. He's won a team's championship. He actually team's championships.
He's one of the best teams players of all time. I still got Andrew topping him because of Andrew's success with different teams. I'll get to that in a second, Leo.
See, Leo, Boggs and I have a similar mentality of Collins is the one who gets these lucky breaks because there have been some questionable times where he gets these round 3 questions that all seem like 2-pointers.
Okay. Before I hear more disrespect about Adam Collins,
I'm just
let me
being
jump in.
honest.
Let me jump in. To give a point on your end to benefit your argument about this, Adam Collins has not been in a 5-round match.
Yeah.
This will be a 5-rounder. Jeff Snyder is no stranger to a 5-round match. And I think that's a big leg up that Snyder has on Collins. Granted, Collins, he's been in 5 matches. We still have no idea what this man's capable of. Like you said, he could have gone some lucky breaks on some questions. Like, okay, cool. But I would have loved to see Adam Collins perform with the round 3 questions that Snyder and Ethan got. That would have been interesting for me to watch.
That's where I'm getting at. Snyder won with questions like that.
At the same time, Snyder, with Adam Collins, you almost have to play a perfect game.
So far, because of his lucky breaks.
But still, nonetheless, you still have to play a perfect game. Granted, it's a 5-round match, so everything changes after round 2. Once that wheel spun into the 3rd round, Collins has no idea. He hasn't been there before.
I see. If we were in studio, I'd say it would make a difference. Here's why I think it won't. Because Jeff hasn't played this kind of format of 5-round match. That 4th round is going to make a difference.
But that's the one. Yeah, but that's the 4th round. I still want to see how the pressure, because that's a lot of pressure. And we see Adam Collins say explicitly, "Yo, that was nuts." Like we can see him getting shook, but still answering questions. Like, so he can still get nervous and anxious to get through the match because it'll be a longer match. It won't just be the 1st round, 2nd round, 3rd round. Now, man, we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have a lot going on in this match. That is my only thing into why I want to pick Snyder, because Snyder knows what the hell is going on. But like you said, that 4th round is killer. How they've been doing it with the 4th round this year, Christian, I know you're not the biggest fan of how everything's going on right now, but I love it.
Most people do. Because it's more about knowledge instead of physical acumen.
And Winston had said it on SCN not too long ago. I could not agree with this point any more than I already do. And especially after watching the team title match, and again, we'll get to that in a second.
Well,
but
that's not in a second. We got a little bit to go before we get to that.
But I think that I'm with Leo in saying that Collins will win this match because Snyder's not pitching perfect games. That's my thing. Like when he beat Oyama was not the Oyama that we had seen in the last month.
Difference in questions is just ridiculous, though.
And we'll see it in this 5-round match for the singles freaking tournament title.
My point is, like in every single one of those matches, it's not like he had the softball questions that were coming on that side.
But that doesn't make Adam Collins not good at movie trivia.
I'm not saying it doesn't make him good at movie trivia. I'm just saying
you're degrading his freaking.
No, I'm saying because
yes, you are.
No,
Don't
I am not.
I am not. He's getting easy questions. Okay, then we'll see.
I'm not saying. I'm saying Snyder. The fact that Snyder's gotten these harder questions and is hitting them is why I'm going with him. They're both hitting their questions.
You're the first person to say that shit to me, bro. So I don't even want to hear it.
I know.
I'm sorry if Adam Collins is out here getting easier questions because now we're gonna see it. I'm not saying going to say I'm not going to be
knowledge is deeper, it seems, as of right now, because Adam Collins is so much of a question mark. This is what I'm playing into. That's
why I can't like he's 5 for 5. He's 5 for 5. He's missed 4 questions in the whole freaking tournament. Like what the numbers back up Collins. I don't want to be that guy. I really don't want to be that guy. But Adam Collins, I'm not out here saying he's the best thing ever because we don't know yet. We don't know.
Okay, I don't want to Stephen A. Like I'm Max Kellerman. You're Stephen A. Get the.
No, but
you're folding into the hype. I'm sitting here level-headed.
No, I'm not folding into the hype. The numbers are no. If anything, I'm like Max Kellerman, where I'm backing up analytically. Like it makes sense. Like my man's missed 4 questions in 5 matches. Okay. Whatever, like it's subjective as hell in regards to the difficulty of a question, and one question may be harder to another person. Like it is what it is. We just talked about it 5 seconds ago about how some questions are harder for others. Like like that Liz Shannon Miller's 5-point question, Exhibit A. So that's my only thing. Because Adam Collins is still a question mark. We don't know what he's capable of. that does not mean he's better than what he's making it seem like. This is his make or break match. If what you're saying is correct, this will be his make or break match, but I still think it will be. Like,
I'm not saying it won't be. I'm just saying I gotta go with the person who has the experience. Experience over luck is where I'm going.
but we saw that with John Roca. Talk about experience. He beat Roca, Harris, Meyer back to back to back, and one of them went to sudden death.
Only so here, I'm not, no spoilers. So at the time he beat Meyer, only one of the people he played had a belt. Only one of the people he's played had a belt, and Roca was still shaking off mentally. He wasn't where he was because of the loss he took to Irwin.
Then what about Harris?
Harris,
he's had a kick-ass year.
No, he's had a quick. Harris, I'll give you, but Harris hasn't been on a championship level. He hasn't played for a championship.
Neither Collins. Like,
see, you just proved my point. Snyder has played for championships. That's why I'm saying I'm going for
the league is different than what the Patriots have done. I'm like, I don't want to hear about.
I'm not talking about the Patriots. You're forgetting.
But you're talking about championships. How many did if my memory, unless I'm just
two-time champion. Who was he?
Did he defend the belts?
No, did he win the belt?
Did he defend the belts?
Differences.
Did he? Because you can win all the matches you want, but once you get the belt, bro, do you keep it? Did he keep it? Tell me.
No, it was a different situation. They played an Iron Man. If it was or wasn't an Iron, I think it was. No, it wasn't an Iron Man match. That one.
I'm the last person to ask. My memory past last week is shot. Either way, don't get me wrong. I think everything you're saying is fact. You are saying nothing but facts. But so am I. Everything I'm saying is fact. Everything you're saying is fact. All it comes down to is the difficulty of the question, and we're both agreeing on that. so come the tournament final, whenever the hell it happens, it'll all come down to who knows the most movie trivia. Simple as that. To some, Adam Collins have gotten a better run, but like my boy Leo Logan, Adam Collins ain't the only lucky one. He is not the only lucky one, like you said. Snyder's faced 3 champs. Ethan got some bad luck with his third round questions last week.
3 p.m.
Ethan just had to answer the 5 and he wins, and we're having a different conversation.
We find out who's right tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Tomorrow? Shut the hell up.
I'm looking at the schedule right now.
Tomorrow?
Yeah, because they're playing last week's pay-per-view on Friday.
Wait.
Right here?
What?
Thursday, October 22nd. Snyder Collins.
Oh my God. Oh, it's tomorrow? Oh my God. Okay. Either way, I totally understand what you're saying, and I agree with everything that you're saying. Like with the exception of the fact that I just have Collins going over. Like I can't not pick Collins. I can't. Nick, shout out to my man. Go watch Wrestle Reel every Friday at 6 Eastern. Look, all I have to say, and last thing I got to say about this Snyder Collins thing, it's a coin flip. But the coin flip in this scenario is the questions that are being asked. It's the most important part of the whole thing. And if Collins has blind spots, we're going to see them. But as of right now, we know just as much about Adam Collins as Jeff Snyder does. That's it. On the other hand, like you said, Jeff Snyder has experience. So we've seen him in more matches. We've seen him with his blind spots. Adam Collins can exploit that. That's the last thing we're going to say. If it's Snyder,
the only blind spot Snyder seems to have is would be the inner geekdom / comic book movie slices.
Tell me that's his only blind spot?
That's where the majority of his blind spots will be found on a single match. In a singles match, that's where the majority of his blind spots would be, because you get Star Wars and MCU and all that condensed into those, and the fantasy sci-fi slice maybe. But there are also those art house fantasy sci-fis that fall into fantasy sci-fis, which is why I wasn't including that.
And shout out to my boy Leo Logan.
Mel Brooks.
Honestly, it's probably the geekier stuff. Because I would consider Mel Brooks geeky as hell. Not inner geekdom, obviously, but it's still niche. It's the niche stuff. Can we agree on that? It's the niche category. Mel Brooks is niche as hell. And so, like you said, some fantasy sci-fi. It's niche. It's not like dramas or decades.
I wouldn't say. See, Mel Brooks is in that weird area because he's niche, but at the same time, he's art house as well as being niche. Like he's got that weird thing going on. So I wouldn't know about where I'm putting him specifically, but yeah, it's a tough one. Like
if Adam Collins comes out of this match, his match against Dan, it's gonna be nuts because it's the new guy against the GOAT, right? And if it's Snyder coming out of this match, then okay. If Snyder wins, before we move on to the pay-per-view, because I know we want to talk about the pay-per-view.
We got stuff to talk about before the pay-per-view. We got to end with the pay-per-view.
Like what? Oh wait, yeah.
I was about to say, what you mean, like what?
But if Snyder wins this match, right, and he goes on to play Dan, let's say hypothetically he beats Dan, right? Well, actually, before I jump the gun, and let's say the odd couple wins the tag tournament. Neither one of us have them winning the tag tournament, but hypothetically, let's say they do. And Snyder plays twice. That's spectacular. And what if he wins both times? What if he's double belted at the end of the year? Wouldn't that be fucking insane?
He'd finally have what he'd need to back up that GOAT conversation. Because he keeps saying I should be in the greatest of all.
Player of the year by far.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Dan. I know I'm out here cosplaying as Dan Merle today, but he'd exceed Dan, exceed Chance. Collins, same thing can be said for him. If Deception goes to tag, if he beats Snyder, goes double belted, same thing. But Snyder, in regards to the overall history of the Schmoedown conversation, like then at that point, like how we mentioned last week, how Rushmore is like 6 or 7 names. Snyder's name is immediately injected into that conversation. Immediately. I even think if he wins the singles tournament, goes on to play Dan, wins the tag tournament, goes on to play whoever, or goes on to play the tag champs, right?
Yeah.
I think then it's like, bro.
See, I can't say that because
I'm not saying he's gonna be top 4, top 5. I'm still. It's impressive nonetheless.
It's like who's the best? Who's your best player to never win an NBA championship? Best player to never win.
Oh God, we're talking about basketball.
No, but that's just you see the analogy I'm making. That he would be
Charles. No.
See, Charles only played in one. I know there are a couple players who played in multiple who never won. That's but you see what I'm talking about. Like that's he's that kind of player. You don't put them on Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Granted, he's got 2 teams championships. Great. But you can't come knocking on the singles door as many times as he has and then fall short. Whether it be a number 1 contenders match, which he's had a few of, or a championship match, which he had against Paul Oyama.
Oh man, yeah, because I'm trying to equate this to wrestling. I got wrestling on the brain, like I always do. And all the people that are considered the greatest of all time have won a plethora of gold, whether it's team, singles, or both in some cases. But oh God, bless America.
But you see my point.
Snyder. At the end of the day, Jeff Snyder, what's the proper? I don't want to misword this. If Snyder wins singles, which the more I talk about, the more I want him to win. If he wins teams, and he goes to Spectacular for both, under this new era of the Schmoedown, which I have termed one of the most important seasons that Schmoedown's ever had. If he goes to both, and say he just wins one of them, say he wins singles. If he wins a singles belt, I think we got to start talking about him in the conversation.
And that's what I'm saying. If he wins a singles belt, then I'll without a doubt have him in that conversation. Until he does that, though, he's on the outside looking in for me.
Ooh, yeah. I can see that. I don't know if I can 100% agree with that, but I can I see what you're coming from. Because I mean, Jeff Snyder, Jesus Christ, to have a career like he's had, I understand his frustration and to not being in the conversation as much as he's not. Because you see a lot of the similar names, you see a lot of the Merles, the Rokas, the Cushings, Rileys, depending on who you ask, like Kalinowski's, the Ethans of the world, at least in regards to trivia, the Biani, at least in regards to single competitors, just one competitor. Teams, by far, Patriots, holy shit. Like, they're definitely on the team Mount Rushmore, but no one ever talks about that. It's all about the one lone competitor. And Snyder has been on the outside looking in, and I halfway feel bad, but the points, everything you just said, I've heard it multiple times, and I'm like, yo, I'm trying to find a way. I'm trying to find the missing ingredient to be the complete piece to my claim as for Jeff Snyder to be in the conversation. And the missing piece is a damn singles belt. Mm-hmm. And he's gotten close, but no cigar. So we'll that's damn. I want Snyder to pull this out. I like when I think it was Christian or Brad or Frankie Numbers on freaking Rundown, but one of them mentioned if Snyder does that, he's player of the year by far, and you got to start considering him for bigger, better things.
Yeah.
And another thing, Collins, to me, win or lose, probably rookie of the year.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I won't disagree with that at all.
And I know for like the last however so many months we've been doing this show, I'm like Ben Goddard. But the last few months, my man's been AWOL, and it's like, man,
he's been AWOL because they didn't play him right.
And I will forever complain about it. But he'll have. I think he'll have, if he comes back next season, which I hope he does, like a ball of fire.
Well, he's kind of hinted at that he's willing to listen to offers for free agency.
As he should, trust me, as everybody should, because everyone should be valued.
Everyone not named Dan Merle or John Roca.
Yeah. But what a monkey wrench. Dan could screw the whole league just by making one decision. It's like, hey, Dan, you want to be with me? I'm like, no, he doesn't. It's like, yo, oh God, there's so many hypotheticals. And we could talk about this shit all day. What faction Dan could join, how I've been wanting a heel turn from Dan Merle for months now. But
he's too much of a man and doesn't play him. But since we are on the topic of Dan, we do have to talk about the big news that came out this week, and that is Dan has moved to Arkansas.
Yeah, him and Mara, shout out to them.
Yeah, shout out to them, trying to start a life, got a house and everything. And a lot of people, and he covers this in his videos, a lot of people wonder what that means for him going forward with the Schmoedown. And he said in his video, it's not going to change anything. He's still going to fly out to LA a few times a year, all that stuff. But at the same time, you got to sit here and wonder, okay, but you're saying that right now as someone who has a belt.
So you're right.
And what if you does he you have that singles belt as of right now. Yeah. You're not required to be there as much as you would have to be possibly if you didn't have the belt.
Yeah.
So the question is, Dan, what are you going to do if as of right now, it's not affecting it, but in the long term, depending on what happens, you got to start to question whether or not the Schmoedown has Dan Merle for much longer.
And that was the initial fear, right? Like you're
Yeah.
the one that told me this. And for those who don't know what we're talking about, go to Dan Murrell's personal channel. It starts with Dan video. He explains it all, right? But I think, obviously, for now, with him being the singles champ and potentially a teams champ, depending how the teams tournament goes and how spectacular it goes, then he could be double belted at the end of the year. Like, okay, so for now, it's not like this digital format is definitely benefiting Dan Murrell leaps and bounds. But the second we're back in the studio, God willing, it's sometime soon. And especially if you're Christian or Harloff, you're jonesing to get back in the studio. But the second they do, now it starts getting weird. Because now, if you're double belted, hypothetically, you have your singles champ freaking 3/4 across the country, a little more than halfway. He's by me. and I'm away.
Ben Goddard talked about how they drove through Oklahoma and there was a town that looked exactly like Derry.
I'm like, yo, like he's over here, like Arkansas is not too far from me, and like that's a trek still from there to Oklahoma or there to California. It's a little further east than where I'm at, but I freaked out because I'm like, yo, is he gonna drop the belt? I think it was the first question I asked you. I'm like, is he gonna drop the belt? What's the future gonna be? That's a big question, and I don't want to speculate. We can speculate here all day about what the hell Dan Murrell's gonna do. But as of right now, the digital format is his best friend, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And but the second we get back in the studio, let's ask Dan that question one more time. Because you can fly to California. Alex Damon lives in Georgia.
Right.
But at the same time, he's the Star Wars champ. Star Wars plays a couple times a year. Your singles champ, that's your face, and of course you want them there, and like that's going to be the difficulty all the time.
You want them there to cut promos. Are they going to have to do a thing where when he's in town, they film all of his matches or all the matches that could lead up to him in a single day, so he's there, can film the match, and like there's so many question marks around it because. Mm-hmm. If you have to do something like that, his possible competitor might be run down.
Yeah, and I think it'd be extremely unfair to do
exactly
like a lot of matches in a short amount of time just for Dan to fly in with his one match in GTFO. And like, how would you do number one contender matches and that? If Dan would hypothetically lose the belts, But either way,
I mean, you need him there for cut scenes, for all that stuff.
At least you'd like him there.
Yeah, you'd like him there for that.
Present, because and I know we talked about it on the show a couple weeks ago when we talked about what the future of the format's going to be, and we've even talked about like a hybrid of the online in-person stuff, which
Christian definitely seems like he'd probably be against.
He is not a fan of this, and he's outspoken about he's not a fan of what we're doing right now. So Dan's future in the Schmoedown, I don't want to say it's on a timer, but it's not looking too hot, especially whenever the hell they go back to the studio. It could be another year.
Yeah, it could be another year. Let's preface it with that. It could be another year.
It could be another year. It could be another year and a half. It depends on how many people wear the masks.
But it seems like it does have a shelf life at this point.
Unfortunately, because that's like how many times can you fly out the? Because that's you have your life now in Arkansas. It's like even for me, if I would be like, oh, like I'm a double belted champ, but if I'm in Oklahoma, it's still a trek to go over there a couple times a year, or as many times as you need your singles or teams champ to be over there. It's a bummer nonetheless, but we have no idea what the future holds. Screw us. We might not know a single thing that we're talking about. They might already have it down pat, and we just wasted our time talking about it. Who knows? But as of right now, from the outside looking in, it's two guys who are just fans of Dan Murrell and they want to see Dan participate in all this fun stuff going forward. Him moving for the better of himself, which again,
totally get that.
We're not going to see as much Dan in person whenever they get there as we would like.
Right. So and do we see that play into potential future storylines? Do we see a founding father stay together via free agency, and then the distance plays into Roca falling heel. Like you've wanted Roca to return heel.
Yeah, like we'll see, and they could totally play into that because that's that's the type of thing you would get once you put your business out there. Because I feel like Dan, when he moved, he just did it, and he's like, "Yeah, we're in Arkansas now." It's like, whoa, like,
Right.
that's awesome. But still, once we get official confirmations, because you already know him and Christian talked about it before he even left. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with Dan. But as far as with what the country's still going through right now, we're still gonna be a ways away before we're back in studio. At least how we were prior. It's not even looking to how I know in our Who Are They Real Entertainment group chat, we talk about movies getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back and pushed back.
Almost daily.
Yes. And I think movies getting pushed back is a good test to where the world will be normal again. And as of right now, we're looking at April. And that's 6 months away. So we have a lot still going on, but that's not even confirmed yet. That it could be August. It could be we could still be in this position next year, but we don't know, and that's just the uncertainty of what COVID-19's got going on. But again, who knows? We'll talk about it when the time comes.
Yeah. Oh, now we got to move on to a little bit of the more somber news of the Schmoedown.
Yeah.
And this is hard to talk about because this is like. This guy, you can tell, is genuinely one of the people who actually cares, like, is there because they care, they want to win, and they put their heart and soul into it, and it sucks. But yesterday on SEN, Kevin Smets revealed that he has stage 3 colon cancer. And he made it clear, he's like, don't look. He's like, I don't want you guys to look up the stats and all that because he's like, then everyone's gonna get overworried. He's like, it's me, I'm the smasher, I got this. And he said if it weren't for his wife, he might not even be here right now. And it just sucks because last year when you meet this guy, you're loving him and his character like right off the bat, and he probably had one of the fastest growing fandoms the Schmoedown's ever seen.
It was impressive to say the least.
And to see him finally hold that belt, finally get that belt last year, and then just have to wait all the way to July just for the chance to defend it. Or was it July or August, to defend it, and then for things to go the way it did. You hate to see it. And then everybody's like, oh, he's been quiet. Wonder why he's been quiet. Hey, champ, we want you back. Can't wait to see you. You got this. You need the comeback story. And then we get this. And you want nothing more than to help this man in any way you can. And they do have a GoFundMe set up by the great Schmoedown competitor Paul Preston. You can go donate to that to help Kevin and his family out.
Last time I checked, it already had over $4,000 in it, which is insane. It's
right. But it's to me, I guess one of the few things in sports you can equate this to, kind of, in regards to you're losing a competitor due to medical reasons, is when Magic Johnson got diagnosed with HIV. Because he was still in the prime of his career, still killing it, still doing a great job, and then he finds that out, and he just, because of what we knew at the time, or medical professionals knew at the time, to be safe, he stopped playing, and then he came back a couple of years later and all that, once we knew more.
This whole, okay, So just so I can walk everyone through my thought process. So the day before, Kevin Smets, he says like, everyone tune into SCN tomorrow. Got a big announcement, huge announcement. And we're
First
like,
thing Chris texts me is, "Oh shit, is Kevin Smith's going to retire?"
that was my first thought. And I thought, like, okay, he's gonna retire. Like, he probably got like a job, like a big job, and he can't commit to the Schmoedown entirely. He just had a baby not too long ago, so like he just maybe diverting his attention to that. So I wasn't thinking worst case. And then the day of the thing happens, watching SCN, and for whatever reason, I left. I left my room and I was doing something, and Matt had texted me, and he said like, Kevin Smets has stage 3 colon cancer, and I just stopped what I was doing. I went back, rewounded it, and I watched what he was talking about, and I saw some people talk about like going back and rewatching the match against Don DePani, and seeing with what we know now, because Kevin's known for a while now.
Kevin Smets. So we find out he knew he was diagnosed September 3rd.
Yes. But you can tell he said he's
Something
been
was bugging
feeling for a while.
Yeah.
He's not been feeling like himself. And again, he had mentioned that his wife told him like, no, they misdiagnosed you, go again. And obviously we found the news. And I don't want to make this a whole like missing scene. We're gonna miss him in matches, because my biggest gripe with not only this, but with professional wrestling, obviously there are parallels between the two, is people not being able to distinguish the person from the character. We have no idea what's going on in these people's personal lives. No idea. And the fact that Kevin Smets, he had zero obligation to tell us anything. He didn't have to tell us a single thing, right? He went on SEN because he gave that much of a shit
About
to tell all the fans, tell all of us, like, yo, this is what I got going on. This is what I'm going to do. And this is what you should do, what you can do to help me out. And I was in awe watching this man talk about what he was going through. Of course, I was like, it's disheartening. It's upsetting, especially hearing that he was misdiagnosed initially. Like, it's awful, right? And at least us here at Spin from the Real wish nothing but the best. Every single positive vibe that we can have, or send it to Kevin Smets, because like you said, Matt, he had an explosive run, and he had one of the most kick-ass rookie seasons that the Shrine has ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Smets made his presence known the second he showed up. And I mentioned John Kaiser's name a lot on this show in regards to managing, and how I think he's a decent manager, or a pretty decent manager, and he is Exhibit A. Kevin Smets' success trickles to John Kaiser, and like they're synonymous with each other, and they forever will be, at least in regards to the movie trivia Schmoedown. And the fact that we got the news yesterday, I was like, oh my God, that is like, I think we were all blindsided. I didn't see anyone, like, because of course we're all predicting like, oh, what's the announcement going to be? And retirement was the popular one, but
retirement for this reason is nothing anyone saw coming.
And this isn't even a retirement.
Yeah, it's a temporary. He's like, I'm taking a break until we get this under control, this, that, and the other. So as you could call it retirement, call it a break, call it whatever you want, but us as a fandom, and I'm talking to all Schmoedown fans, us as a fandom need to rally around these people, and we need to understand what they have going on in their personal lives. I mean, we've done it before when it came to Paul Preston and his wife. We saw it with the Barbarian and his wife. And now we are here, and we have Kevin Smets, whose career might get cut short. We need to rally around these people and support them in any way that we can. And
it's bigger than the Schmoedown.
yeah, it's bigger than the Schmoedown.
It's as much as, and that's how we know them. And I think I can guarantee I would not know who Kevin Smets was without the Schmoedown, unless our paths crossed. I saw him on a different space, but of course we're going to keep referring to the Schmoedown because that's how we know him. At least speaking for myself, Matt, I don't know. If you
No, I'm same way.
But that's going back to what I mentioned a second ago. That's my biggest gripe is people. I see people on the Facebook, on the Reddit, on the Twitters. They're attacking these people and treating them as if their characters are the real lives. We have no idea what's going on. Kevin Smets is Exhibit A. When we watched the match against Sean Drew, we would not have suspected a single thing was up with him. No one was like, yo, does Kevin look like off to you? It's like, no, because he still put in the smasher effort that we've known for the last year plus now. And yeah, he came on the losing end, and I don't want to go back and rewatch that because I think it's gonna
break your heart.
Right in the, yeah. But I want to double down what you just said. Like it's bigger than the Schmoedown. These are real people. We admire these real people, and I know that like we're in the majority. The majority of at least the people that we're talking about are the vast minority. It's a small, tiny group of people that do this little stuff, and I don't understand. I never will understand it. But the majority of people, geez, like go look on the Facebook. The GoFundMe is in the Facebook page. It's been shared multiple times, whether it's the SEN or Movie Trivia Schmoedown one. Go ahead and donate if you can. I know I plan on to, because it's the little stuff, right? It's a hard subject to talk about, but Kevin just reassured the fact that he's like, yo, I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna be fine. Just don't worry about me and just be aware. And he's using his platform to spread awareness and positivity, and I could not admire that enough. Like I if I could take all the admiration I have for other things and give it to Kevin, I would. Because like I can't. It's hard to talk about. But Kevin Smets, we're right here with you, brother. Us here from Spin from the Real, right there with you. And smash cancer, people. Hashtag smash cancer.
If you want to donate, here is the GoFundMe, gofundme.com/f/smash cancer help Kevin Smets. Yeah. And as of right now, it's just under $6,000. So
damn, so it went up in the last 2 hours since I saw it.
Yeah.
Like that's incredible.
It's literally just like a hair under $6,000, $28 to be exact. So
like, and this community kicks so much ass. And like I mentioned, like the people that we're talking about and I are talking about, it's the vast minority. It's those few people that treat the game way too serious. When in reality, these are all real people going through real life stuff, and they're just like us. The only difference is that they do movie trivia in front of an audience of thousands of people. That's it. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
And Kevin again made sure to double that down. That he's not asking for people to ignore their issues, their problems, because they're like our problems. Like we're all the same. We're all the same. Just with Kevin, of course, you have all this admiration for him to the point where people are donating thousands of dollars to go support my man. And this is the news that rocked the Schmoedown. Yes, like what Matt had mentioned, we've seen similar cases with people who have competed and their significant others or their other family members. But in this case, it's affecting one of our own directly. And I shouldn't say that. It's affecting a competitor in this case directly. Because let me read. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's a hard thing to talk about, and I mean the community came out in droves for the Barbarian for Craig. They came out in droves for Paul Preston, and they're going to do the same thing now for Kevin Smets. Because for as big as the Schmoedown may seem to us, we're a pretty tight community, and that's what we're doing out here. So hell yeah, brother. Smash that mother effing cancer, Kevin Smash, and I cannot wait to see you back.
Yeah.
Jonesing for it.
All right, well, it's going to be weird to change topics like that, but we're here, we're going to, and we're going to move on.
We're doing pay-per-view now, from what I understand.
I'm about to throw up the spoiler warning. So,
sweet. So for those who have not seen the pay-per-view from this past Friday, it was Stacy Howard versus Gray Drake and Corruption versus Shazam for the team title belts. If you have not seen it, thank you so much for joining us. We really do appreciate it. Go ahead and give us a like, share with all your homies. But we're gonna talk spoilies now of the pay-per-view. Just fair warning. Just want to throw that out there. But let's chat about the undercard first, because Matt, you got to watch it. You got to watch it live. I unfortunately didn't because I was in Kansas. But I'm curious in your thoughts of Stacy Howard and Gray Drake, because Gray Drake is someone we have not seen too much of in a very long while, and Stacy Howard, similar situation, but she was a competitor that a lot of people have a lot of love for.
Oh yeah, sorry, Leo. We almost forgot about that. At the beginning of this match, there was a cutscene, and it set up the Wild Berries Civil War.
Okay.
Should Makuga accept the match? We all know, but personally, I say no.
Matt. Matt.
What?
You've seen professional wrestling in your life, yeah?
Yeah.
This is a page right out of that book, man.
I know, but
of course, realistically, he shouldn't.
Well, no, I said he's going to. I'm not denying that. I'm just saying he shouldn't. Reasons being, realistically, at the time of that match, we'll be about a month and a half, 2 months away from the next draft. Neither of those players are just going to be picked up in free agency. There is a chance for a reunion. So, realistically, I think to have this match kind of redundant. I mean, Makuga doesn't participate that much as it is right now anyways. And Dewberry, he just hasn't had the chance to because of the format we switched to.
So, I'm halfway upset that you mentioned it, Leo, because I don't want to talk about this. When Christian had mentioned
we were getting something storyline related.
We're getting something storyline. I was taken aback at seeing Elliot and Josh doing what we're doing right now. And I'm like, oh, I saw it in my pro wrestling brain went on. I'm like, oh no. Like this is what's happening right now, right? Like this is what they're doing. They're gonna have them fight each other, and it's gonna be the worst. And Elliot was just shit talking the Wild Berries. I'm like, oh no, this is gonna be bad. And he said retirement match, and I said no. I was shaking in my boots. I was freaking the F out because I didn't get to see this until after I got done doing football last Friday. And I was like, bro, it's a retirement match.
And see, that's my thing. That was the point I was trying to make with Josh isn't that active anymore anyways.
And just to preface, like Josh was doing eating history on the History
Channel. He's got a baby on the way.
Him and Amanda are pregnant. Again, congratulations to him and Amanda. That's awesome. But oh my God, it's gonna happen. They're gonna do it because
they're gonna do it. But at the same time, I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, Makuga's always the one to pull off wins. So you're telling me, and this is another reason why I say it shouldn't happen. You're telling me the player who would be less likely to play and retire anyways, in my eyes, is the favorite.
You can make the argument like either guy, like Elliot just ever since ETC was a thing and Ricky was around a lot, like Elliot's just been floating, and the wild berries happened, and then there's struggles, and then they got split apart by corruption at the draft. Like they're just both floating. And
but you got to remember, Shannon looked like she was actually going to start using them, and COVID happened.
But since then, and I don't want to go back to Thor Ragnarok, but so much has happened since we last saw you. So much. The league has changed so much. I don't want to. I don't want to say like Elliot is like an average Schmoedown player.
Yes.
But how the Schmoedown has changed.
He's the personality.
Yes. But the league has changed so much to the point where you got to be good. You got to be like really, really good. And you got to know what you're doing. I mean, this singles tournament is Exhibit A. You got to bring the heat. We saw from the first round, depending on the matchup going forward, and we're still seeing it, whether it's Snyder, Ethan, or LSM and Collins. Like we're still seeing, you got to bring your A game. This ain't child's play anymore. And
how dare we what?
Oh, you just shit on me? I just didn't know.
well, no, because you talked about him being an average Showdown player. So he's the personality, and you went along with it.
Oh no, okay. So you did shit on me. I just didn't catch it. How dare you? How dare you? But
hey,
I mean,
you're the one who admitted to it, bud.
I mean, it's like but it's. I don't see either one of these guys doing too much, regardless of who wins or not. They're going to have this match. It's going to be the throwdown for November. God, it depends on the Josh McCouga that we get. Yeah, he may be the favorite going in, but
it's just this is a coin toss for me because we had Elliot in a singles match this year.
Elliot do some pretty
in team matches. He pulled some of the crazy 5-pointers out of his ass for the Wild Berries and a couple of their wins.
And he's done perfect rounds. Like
yeah.
I believe Elliot's no stranger to a perfect round in the first round.
That is correct. So that's on. So I understand when Leo says he has Elliot winning in Civil War.
Oh,
I get the thought process behind it, but they're both prone to pull something magical out of their ass.
I do not. I'm not going to talk about who wins until the match is formally announced, until the sprint from the reel before the show, because I cannot imagine a world without Josh McCouga in the Schmoedown. So all I gotta say is that yes, they teased that the promo that they had before that. I think Elliot was bringing it. It was a heel Elliot, you can tell the corruption. He was a little corrupt. And I really liked that. I like what they were doing with it. And Josh being like, bro, wild berries, yeah. And I'm like, oh, ouch. They're really playing it. They're doing a great story with this. They're doing it the only way you can, and it's by doing a retirement match. That caught me off guard. Yeah. I thought playing each other was like, oh yeah, playing each other. Okay, it totally makes sense. That honestly made the event a pay-per-view, regardless of how iffy that match might be. But people are going to tune in because it's the wild berries. But it being a retirement match adds.
Let's go. Wow.
Like jaw drop, hit the ground, and I'm not mentally prepared.
Chris is not a happy boy.
I'm not mentally prepared to potentially do a sprint from the reel and have it be an in memoriam for Josh McCouga's Schmoedown career. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, Showtime Max. Fuck cancer. Fuck cancer. Thank you.
Back, baby. Thanks Showtime _Max23. But damn, I don't want to talk about the Schmoedown without McCouga. McCouga is a huge part of the Schmoedown. For all of you fans who are newer, go back and rewatch the old McCouga stuff. Gold, baby.
Rewatch like all the season 3 and 4 matches with his fantasy updates.
Go watch the Mega Power stuff.
Yeah.
Because the Mega Powers is what set up freaking halfway set up the Patriots.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind. Josh McCouga is a big part of Schmoedown history. Blue Fairy, baby. Like Blue Fairy can S my D. That's Christian Hollow's words, not mine.
The retirement of Finstock, like The 1 year,
He beat Finstock. Like, bro, like the Schmoedown's history cannot go incomplete without cannot be complete without Josh McCouga, and I'm gonna have my heart broken if you lose this. But that was a great way to start this this throwdown. It was a great way to start it, and it's probably one of the better shows of one of the better throwdowns of the year. If I'm being honest, overall match quality, performances, character work, managerial work,
Yeah.
promos. Like, this is one of the better shows, throwdowns that we've had this year, in person or not. But to go into what happened afterwards with Gray Drake and Stacy Howard, Matt, something we talked about on the show last week with the Ultimate Schmoedown Show boys was Gray Drake's rust, because she has not competed in a long while. It's been a hot minute. It's been a minute since we've seen her properly play in a Schmoedown match. And if I'm not mistaken, that rust definitely showed in her match with Stacy Howard.
Yeah, it did, but it didn't. I should say it did, but it didn't, because she started off strong.
She started hot.
She started off real hot. Like, for a minute there, it looked like, oh shit, Gray's just gonna fucking massacre her.
And ultimately we got the Stacy that we knew. What was Stacy like, the killer, like how we saw her with Eric Zipper? Maybe not, but ultimately Stacy came out on top, getting some points for the Rock Stars. Rock Stars having a big week for the Rock Stars. I halfway forgot she was on the Rock Stars until we talked about it on the show last week. So, like, Stacy Howard is someone who can be.
Yeah, Leo, I'm right there with you. I was surprised Gray missed that question also. Who can post Superman the film? I was like, everyone knows that John Williams.
It's that score, brother. It's that theme, the Superman theme. Like, that's
the theme.
But Stacy Howard, she's someone that the Schmoedown, I think it's safe to say she's underrated overall as a competitor. And seeing the quick glimpses that we've had in the last year of her, she brings it. And I think the turning point for her character was Ellis, beating Ellis, and then going forward after that, breaking away from 6 Degrees, all that, like breaking away from Jay. It did her all the good that she needed. And I really hope she has a bigger presence next year. I really do. Because she can be a threat. Like, she is a threat. She's a threat in the singles division. And if she has a good teammate in the tags.
Yeah. I mean, we even last week on here, we did say, hey, everyone said Stacy's gonna win it. Me, you, Boggs, Colin. We all said Stacy's gonna win.
Yeah.
So was I shocked when she pulled another honestly great comeback? No. No, I was not. Was I shocked? Was I more so shocked that Gray missed the question she missed in the third round? Yes. Yes, I was.
And that's just a testament to Gray Drake as a competitor. Like, she cannot be. Like, don't underestimate her. Is she like super top tier, like how we've been seeing in singles tournament? No, not yet. Potentially, maybe, if she chooses to keep competing.
Oh,
but
we'll get to that, because I don't know if you watched her interview or skipped to the end.
I didn't watch the interview.
Okay, I'll bring it up.
Enlighten me,
so that was actually, because of her performance, that was something that was brought up and asked. Mm-hmm. And she said, given the time she's been away and everything, and how she came back, and she's like, yeah, I had a little bit of rust, but I started off strong, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
She's like, but the Schmoedown has always been a family for me. I've been here since the beginning, basically.
Yeah, day one.
And she's like, I will be here as going forward as long as the Schmoedown and its fans will have me. So.
And great. See you in the draft, Gray. And that's no disrespect. I'm just saying there's a crap ton of other competitors that have really shown their worth just in this year alone. So, Gray Drake, I hope to see more of her next season.
Agreed.
Same for Stacy, because Stacy, again, I continue to double down on it. She's underrated as hell, and she took the crown of Queen Guess, or the guessing crown from Makuga a couple seasons ago.
Yeah.
So like, we need to give Stacy the respect that she deserves, and hopefully a good faction will pick her up and use her wisely going into next season.
You know, I'm with you there. I think that's needed. But yeah, Stacy. I think Stacy's best bet is to stay on the Rockstars. I think Roxy will pick her up again. Stacy was the one, even though she won, she was the one that seemed a little bit more non-committal to coming back, which shocked me a little bit.
I mean, I believe that's why she
didn't do the tournament. Yeah, so that's partly why she didn't do the tournament. She didn't know. So
and she said no to the tournament, which I was like, whoa. So I want to see more of Stacy. Stacy, she's one of the more underappreciated characters the Schmoedown's ever seen.
Yeah, and I do got to say, Gray Drake dressing up as Stacy though was fucking perfect.
What else do we expect, bro? Like I'm telling you, last week on the show we were talking about Gray and how great she is. Like she's fantastic. She brings it every single time. But if I'm not mistaken, the score is 60-14. Still close. But
Gray just missed those questions. That was
the landscape of the Schmoedown. 16 points is a respectable win. You just know these competitors can do better, and they almost have to with how stiff the competition is nowadays. And we saw a decent amount of that, especially in the team's title match.
Yeah.
Which, Matt, if I'm not mistaken, last week on the show, we both agreed on who would come out on top of this match. And going into this match, the tensions were riding high because, surprisingly, I didn't get this match spoiled for me post-football. I was the happiest boy on the planet. I went into watching this match.
All I said is I'm crying, and you knew I'd be crying either way. And that was.
I thought so when you said that to me, I'm like, damn it, Matt, because then I started thinking, I'm like, oh, because he had Shazam, and yet because we both had Shazam, I'm like, God damn it, like corruption won. I gotta eat my shit again. Trying to and then I'm watching the match, and exactly what I said last week came to fruition.
Kalinowski didn't show up.
Mike Kalinowski. I love Mike. Mike's one of my faves.
First 4 questions or something like that.
Chance carried the first round and a half.
Yep.
And I'm like, bro, like you can't. And I said that you can't do that against Shazam. You can't. You just can't. Because Shazam was on crack the whole time. The whole time they were killing it. At no point. I think the only point where they stumbled was them betting the incorrect amount of points and only betting 1 in round 3.
Yep.
Like that was the only time they really messed up. Because Shazam brought the heat. They brought exactly what we all expected them to, and it was corruption having to climb to get where Shazam was at. Because Shazam beating the ever-living god out of who's the boss. It was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, we're all like, whoa, bro. Freaking final exam, yo.
And I have Founding Fathers winning the spectacular. Just saying that right now.
Okay. So spoiler alert: Shazam won the match.
Well,
You
kind of already said that. We kind of said that out top when it came to finally talking about this match. Shazam won, but I got Founding Fathers winning at Spectacular. I'll say that right now. If they get out of the tournament, they're winning Spectacular.
If that's the big thing. If
I don't think that's a big if.
I think I don't want to hear the disrespect towards the other teams in this tournament, man. I know you're a big stan of the Founding Fathers. I get it. Trust me, like I'm a big fan too. But the competition's stiff, man. It's stiff as hell, and especially with like these teams. If the first whatever the first match is, it has to be the play-in, Witching Power.
Yeah.
And
I have a feeling the Founding Fathers match will probably be the last match of that first
one. They're gonna make us wait to see Jan and John 100%.
Yeah. Because they know, like you pointed out, we'll know how far the Founding Fathers go based off of what the background is for Dan and Roka.
Dan and Roka.
Well, actually, even
I
at
think they
Roker's
haven't shot it. They might have finished the damn thing.
Yeah. At the same time, though, we've seen that Roka's new setup isn't much different than his old one. It's just the stuff that's on the shelves.
I'm under the impression they got it down in the bag.
They could be filming it right now. Because think about it. We were what? We were 3 or 4 weeks. We were like 2-3 weeks into the tournament when we had Winston come on.
Yes.
And Winston's match, or the shirt Winston was wearing, was the match where Liz beat Bibbs.
Yes.
Because he had just come from a match. Spoiler: the night we got Winston on, he had a match beforehand.
He had said that. I think he had said that.
He said prior engagement. He didn't say, or maybe he did say either way.
For the interview, go to the Watts WAT highlights channel, and the whole interview's on there. Great.
Yeah.
Great
But we had Winston pop on. He told us like, "Hey, what's up?" And I told Chris, I'm like, I'm gonna pay attention for when he wears that shirt, because we're gonna know that's the day we talk to him. And after a while,
I was definitely the Watson to your Sherlock that day.
Yeah, and after a while, we're like, oh, maybe he just changed shirts and this, that, and the other. And then the Liz and Bibbs match happened. I was like, oh, Chris, we finally know which match it was.
And I mean, like, good on him. He didn't even give us an inkling of what the hell was happening. So like, that's nuts. But this match with Shazam and Corruption, the biggest takeaway is Mike, right? Because Chance brought the
same player he was.
Chance did exactly what Chance was going to do. Same thing for Bibbs, same thing for Meyer. We all knew what they were going to do, and they all brought the heat. But Mike was the stick out. Like he stuck out like a sore thumb. I was in awe especially when he was like, man, like him with his whiteboard, answering the questions, and you just see his expression. He'd just be like, But I mean, shout out to Shannon for getting them back into it, especially for the second round, especially because no questions were missed on both ends.
Yeah.
Going into the third round, they had a killer pull. That 3-point pull brought them back in it as much as they can with a 2-point swing.
And then Mike shit the bed again in round 4. I just got to say it, because Colin and I were messaging during that match, and I heard his answers, I heard his skips, his passes, and I literally texted Colin. I said, Mike just shit the bed.
Especially with how Bibbs and Meyer, they're like,
love Prey? No. At the moment I heard that, I was like,
yeah, he said that. I was like, no, Mike. And he didn't even know he misworded it
until after.
Until they told him. I'm like, bro. And then like in the 5th round, it was like, man, like it was hard. It got hard to watch, especially knowing Shazam was going to come out on top.
After that 4th round, the writing was on the wall. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Because they had to come back their full amount of points to even put Shazam in a position to where Shazam had to answer a question.
Yeah.
And then you're giving them three chances to get one question right.
It was upsetting, and I texted you when I got done watching it, and I was like, damn, like that sucks.
You want to know what Colin said? And I think you'll agree with this.
Did he have Shazam? He didn't give us the prediction on the show last week. He had Shazam or Corruption.
I think we all had Shazam. He ended up giving it to us because he's like, "Oh, Boggs, you're going to give it to him." Yeah. I don't remember who he had. Yeah, Chance even missed Ed TV when they gave Matthew McConaughey's character in the question. That was a really bad match for Corruption, and their season's over. You got someone who's not a Corruption fan over here celebrating, but
hey,
that's just
motherfucker. Like that's something that's something like.
Oh no, this.
And I was like, damn, like that's. I feel bad for Corruption. I still do, because they can never just catch a break, dude. When they get those belts and they can't defend them, and you're like, and I'm like, come on, man. Like that's some real shit. It's like
Here. So this is the first thing Colin messaged me after the match was over. Chance needs Adam.
Oh shit. Oh god. And the crazy part about what the hell that man just said, what the hell our boy Colin Morris just said, that I cannot agree with him anymore, and I already do. That's one hell of a freaking statement, and that's fact. Like, if Mike, talk about Mike making decisions for the better of the faction, you're keeping Collins as your third, because let's be real, Shan's going to keep corruption in the tag team.
I don't.
You think Shan's going to drop Mike?
I think Chance is going to drop corruption.
Ooh! Matt out here with the bomb, bro! Oh shit!
This call it a gut feeling, but I think Chance is actually going to say, "I'm done being this second fiddle. I want to go somewhere where I'm going to be the number one guy. I'm hitting free agency."
Matt Thomas. This is what I've been wanting the whole time. Look, you're thinking long term, buddy. We're out here thinking like this is pro wrestling, because it's exactly what this is.
No, I'm treating this like it's a sport. This is what happened with Kyrie. Kyrie's like, I'm done playing second fiddle. I want to leave the team.
Pro wrestling's a sport. I don't know what you're talking about, brother. But look, this is
a non-rigged sport.
You need to calm the F down. I'm not having a conversation with you right now. But look, Matt, that made me so happy with what you just said. You said exactly what I wanted to hear. How I come on this show every single week and I'm like, I want Dan to turn heel. I want John to turn heel. I want this person to turn heel. No, you're like, I want to turn face, brother.
No,
like,
I don't even. I have him staying the exact same character.
Who is he going to go with then? Tell me.
I don't know who he'll go with, but my point is,
I need to hear it, Matt. Come on, give me a guess. John, is it Kaiser?
Kaiser's, unfortunately, Kaiser's now in the market. That would be the one that would be the next best one that fits.
Even with Kaiser, I think
maybe Sam. Pairing Chance and Ethan.
You're speaking my language, brother. Give him Ethan, bro. Give him Ethan. Like, yeah. Give him Collins. We say it's a corruption. Give him Ethan. Oh, that'd be insane. Oh, Matt, you just rocked my goddamn world. Oh.
I think Chance is tired of being. He proved he's the 1A player, and you've seen Mike. In my eyes, Mike is like Carmelo Anthony right now.
Oh,
Mike is the one who's saying everything he needs to say to try to keep things calm, but in the back of his mind, he still thinks he's that 1A player.
Ooh, Matt, I love this. I love everything coming out of your mouth. I love everything coming out of your mouth. I've never been so happy with things that you've been saying on this show.
And Leo, Chandru came down on Chance hard when he crashed, and rightfully so, because as much as Mike shit the bed for a Chance performance, Chance shit the bed also.
Ooh, now I'm still not know what the hell you just said to me. Look.
So here.
Wow, I never thought I'd see the day where I thought about Chance Ellison leaving corruption. I never thought it would happen.
And now I said something, and now you actually got to think about it.
My brain's like wired right now. I'm like, yo, this is insane. Because if he stays the same character, he's gonna need a heel manager or a manager that knows how to work with the heel. Roxy could work. John Kaiser can work. Sam Levine can work. Not Coy. Not
Winston might be able to. No, Kate's faction is technically considered a heel faction, so Kate could work.
Nah,
it's because you don't like Chicago, Kate.
If Grace has more hands on it, then yes.
I mean, Ben's considered a heel. Ben's done a great job as a heel.
Ben has done a great job as a heel, but he's not Ellison level.
He's not Ellison level.
No.
You've also heard me talk about how I feel Chance has no character. So,
and I cannot disagree with you anymore than I already do. Because I think Chance is, and this is coming from a guy I wasn't on the Chance hype train when he first got here. I've said on this show before, I didn't like Chance when he first got in here. Not because I didn't know him as a person, but I didn't like his character. Same thing with Oyama. Same thing with a lot of these rookies, with the exception of Smets. And I've said that on the show a couple weeks ago when we had talked about it. But my God, Chance Ellison's done a whole 180, especially this year. This year proved Chance Ellison's worth, and I can't stop thinking about where he would go. I can't. Because you're right. Everything you just said was hot facts. And I know Colin Morris, giving him Adam Collins is the perfect situation, but there's no world. Because if you're Shannon and you want to keep Adam and Chance, you're going to keep Mike. And then like you're going to drop Marisol. Like, granted, haven't seen too much of Marisol, but still, Laura Kelly is another great option. Shannon could rock the Schmoedown's world just by making one decision. Or Chance. Chance can now rock people's worlds. Because the power, like you mentioned, is in the player's hands. And Chance is like, I don't want to do this shit no more. Man, why'd you say that?
He's going to rock their worlds worse than Borat too. Just rock Giuliani's.
Bro, I can't wait to see Borat. I know.
I'm sorry. Connor just tweeted about how Giuliani's trying to make how he got caught political now.
Oh God. Shout out to him. But no, man, I wish you didn't say that. Either way, corruption not coming out of this defense again is it's telling, and everything you just said would make sense and tie into the fact that corruption didn't retain the belts. If Chance, oh my God,
it would do more than tie into that. It tie into Chance beating Mike. It tie into how Chance had to carry Mike just in the championship match. It would tie into them losing the belt. And if Chance comes on top of Chandru, it would tie into that also.
Oh no! And he got him. Strike 3, mother. Yeah. Okay.
That was 4 strikes, motherfucker.
Look, all I needed you to say was he beat Mike, because he did beat Mike in the Intergeekdom final, proving that, and he could spin it and be like, "Yo, I'm better than you." It's like, it's not something you don't want to say to a faction mate, but that's how you spin it.
Looks at Mike. I am the captain now,
and I'd cry in excitement, excitement, sadness, and joy, and it would be insane if Chance it totally makes sense. It makes so much sense. The question is, like, where does he go? And there's so many great options. We could dedicate a whole show to talking about where Chance would go. Like, I could long-term book the hell out of this. But either way, shout out to Shazam. I know we give a lot of time of corruption, but Shazam, oh my God, you guys can go down to some of the best teams Schmoedown's ever seen.
You just gotta retain it. Do something corruption hasn't done and actually retain the belt.
retain the belts multiple times, and I think y'all are
realistically. There's only been like 4 teams in Schmoedown that histories to defend the belts.
What is
the Patriots? Shire Wolves.
Shire Wolves.
Yeah,
not champs. Schmoes.
The Schmoes. I don't know if they did it.
Not modern.
I'll say a modern era. Patriots.
Okay.
Patriots.
Shire Wolves. Founding Fathers.
And above the line.
There's not too many. for how many?
But granted, think about it. The Shire Wolves had those championships for a decent amount of time.
It felt like forever.
Then the Founding Fathers, or then corruption took them. Founding Fathers took them from corruption. So, and we had not who's the boss? Roxy's team. Odd Couple took baby. Odd Couple. Like there hasn't been a lot going on.
Oh my God. Wonder would we see Chance stay heel and turn KO face as a redemption thing and face Chance for the title? That would be awesome. But it depends on because let's be real, Mike's gonna stay with corruption.
I don't think Mike's gonna stay with corruption, but I don't think he has the fire to get to a championship match. I think Mike is on the down slope of his career.
Oh, okay. I was rocking with everything you were saying last 5 minutes.
Well, no, here. The reason I say this, I don't think how singles is now. He's not ever going to be able to keep up in singles.
Maybe Chance is talking about Inner Geekdom.
Maybe Nick's talking about if Nick's talking about Inner Geekdom, then yes. If it's Inner Geekdom, he's talking about yes. Sorry, I'm thinking in terms of singles right now because that's
IG is totally feasible.
IG is totally feasible. But
that'd be one hell. I don't know about KO turning face. I think if anyone's going to turn face, it's going to be Chance.
I know. I think what Nick says makes sense because I don't see Chance turning face at all. I just think
it would be better if he turned heel, especially with like the "I'm better than you, Mike." I think it would be significantly better if he stayed heel.
Yeah, Mike, considering he was a face turned heel, for him to go back to face makes a world of sense.
And if you and you can play this out long term. You don't even have to do the immediate Chance Mike thing. Hold that off until next year, bro.
Hold it off until next Spectacular.
Yeah, that's your main event for next Spectacular, bro. That's your main event for 2021 Spectacular. That rules. Longer term booking, baby. That's what I like to hear, Nat. I'm loving everything you're saying the last 10 minutes of the show. I never thought I'd say that before. But no, oh my God, you're on fire right now, baby. Yeah. But no, Shazam.
Brendan Meyer killed it. Fucking love you, kid. Fucking love you.
Stud. Absolute stud. Bibbs, man.
So they are the epitome.
Baby.
They are the epitome of LeBron and Wade. If Roca and Merle are Jordan and Pippen, the kids and Bibbs are LeBron and Wade.
I'd go as far as saying fucking it's like LeBron and AD, bro. I'd go as far as saying that.
See, here's why I use LeBron and Wade as the better comparison, because the kid is only getting better. Bibbs has been on top of the mountain as a singles champion, so he's already got the one championship. He's Wade. He's the older one. He's the more veteran one.
Oh, okay. I was thinking about that, but for LeBron and AD,
LeBron was still the best player on the team. That's why.
You think Myers the better competitor over Bibbs?
I think next year he will be.
Interesting.
They're like
disagree, but I'm curious. I was just curious.
Right now, in my eyes, they're dead even, and that's what LeBron and Wade were in that first year in Miami. They were still basically dead even.
Yes and no, but I totally understand what you're trying to say. But yeah, Bibbs and Meyer, they could run rough shot, bro. This could be the next Patriots.
It has the potential to be,
because it's gonna be hard as hell to beat them. I don't care who you are. You could be Final Exam. You could be Tom and Paul, Deception, Lethal Weapons, Founding Fathers. It's gonna be, you got to bring your A game to beat Shazam.
Mm-hmm.
And they made it look easy. They made it look so damn easy. They made it look like we can go on there.
Not miss a round 4 question. He passed one, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And the kid only missed one, and it was something so it was off by a year or something like that. It wasn't anything big. Or it was the Mummy question. The 2002, he said the Mummy instead of the Mummy Returns. It was the year
the Mummy Returns came out. It was the year.
Yeah, it was what year with the Mummy, or it was what Mummy, what film? It just had to do with the Mummy franchise.
In regards to the Mummy franchise.
It was in regards to the Mummy franchise, and he said the Mummy instead of the Mummy Returns.
Yes. Either way.
It was what year was the Mummy Returns released? And he said 1999.
I thought I said.
Yeah.
It was like what, 2001? He said 99.
It was 2001. But 99 is when the first Mummy movie came out. That's why.
There you go. But they made it look they made it look like we can go in there and beat corruption. And I'm like, this is so fucking, this is crazy what they were doing over there.
I mean, I would have outscored Mike. I could have been Chance's partner, and he would have kept the belt.
What Shazam was doing was stellar. It's going to be the standard for team play going forward. That's how you play as a team. Shout out to Coy for being a kick-ass manager. I mentioned it like an hour and a half ago when we were talking about Coy briefly for LSM. But Coy, just the sheer joy on my man's face when they won the belt. I was smiling. I'm a fan of corruption as a faction, as a team, but I cannot help but be happy as hell for Shazam and for Coy winning the damn belts. It was spectacular to see, and pun intended, I can't wait to see them again at Spectacular. Facing whoever comes out of the team tournament, good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck, because they're gonna bring their goddamn best. bro. They got 2 months of chilling. Like this is gonna be hot. Good luck. I do not envy you. I don't envy you. Whoever the hell is in the come out of the teams tournament, and those are a bunch of good ass teams. Like Lethal Weapons, great on paper. Deception, great on paper. Freaking Odd Couple, Tom and Paul, Final Exam, Founding Fathers. Those are all good ass teams.
Yeah.
I do not envy whoever the hell has to play Shazam. I don't. Good luck.
And on that note, that's the show.
Yeah, brother.
Thank you, everyone, who tuned in and participated. We love the participation we get, whether it's Twitch, Facebook, YouTube. Just make sure, and I mean make sure, to go follow us on all those formats. Follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. Go find us. We're there. Listen on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, soon to be our iHeartRadio, and soon to be Amazon podcasts, because we got an invite to join there. So yeah. So signing off, I'm Matt.
And I am Damn Dan, Chris Anthony Lopez, hashtag Smash Cancer.
Hashtag Smash Cancer. And this was another Who Are They? Spin from the Real. Remember, folks, spin from the real, not the peg. Have a good night.